Okay, so I'm sorry for this video being so delayed. I've been either playing way too much Vampire Survivors or just doing homework and then just forgetting to make this video or just falling asleep after I get home from college. So, it's been pretty fun. So yeah, sorry, I'm gonna start working on it. Hopefully it comes out by Sunday. I'm recording this at like 10 p.m. on Saturday. I'm probably gonna edit it as much as I can. So yeah, anyways. Today we're going to be talking about Alexander Pichushkin. I always mess it up on the first recording of this, so yeah. And I did an extensive amount of research on him for like this forensics project that I did in my junior year because we had a forensics class, and I thought, you know what? He's probably one of the most famous Russian serial killers of all time, and I thought, hey, maybe I could talk about it. You guys wanted a dark video, so here you guys go. Here's a dark video. As usual, this one's going to be dark, unpleasant. We're going to be talking about murder, homicide, etc. And, if you don't feel comfortable with those kinds of topics, it's totally okay. You can leave. Nobody's going to judge you. I won't judge you. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this one. Okay, so Pichushkin was born in 1974, and as a kid he never had a father, and in addition he was kind of born in like the slum-ish areas of Russia, Moscow. Like, I don't know specifically what it is, and I don't think I can pronounce the city name anyways, but despite all that, his life was still pretty normal. However, one day he would, while on a swing, fall and hit his forehead. Now, because he was a child, the forehead is like obviously weaker and still developing. His body is still developing, and so his brain sustained damage. Now, why does this matter? Well, because he actually would damage his frontal cortex, which controls things such as impulse controls, emotions, social abilities, and a plethora of other things. And this would end up making him a lot more hostile and also give him, like, I guess, learning disabilities. And so, his mom saw this and was, of course, concerned, and she had said, I'm going to send you to a school for people with learning disabilities. However, before being transferred, he would actually get bullied a lot, physically and verbally, by students, and he would be called not so pleasant things that I mean, I could say them, but I'm not going to. And obviously this would make him build a lot of fury and anger up in him that he would kind of release later on in life. We'll talk about that more later. Anyways, eventually his grandfather saw him, and he saw how smart he really was and how his talent was being wasted. At least to him, that's what he thought. So Pichushkin's grandpa took him under his wing and he taught him how to play chess, and apparently he was outstanding at it according to many. But recently people have kind of debated that. Alexander played very aggressively apparently, and his lack of impulse control could have been a huge hindrance. In addition, he really could have been much worse than he was hyped up to be. I mean, he was playing against random old ass people in Bitsa Park, which is where he would practice a lot, and him and his grandfather would go. And he was still probably really good. Some people estimate his ELO, which is like how good he was, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. His ELO was about 1200, but a lot of media says he was like a master and things like that, but he probably wasn't a master. But again, he was still good, just probably not the best. But yeah, he was good, I guess, compared to the other people around him. But eventually, Grandpa was old and he would pass away, and this would be something that was kind of a breaking point for Alexander. He drank lots of vodka, and yes, continue playing chess against old people, old random ass homeless people, but he would also begin to do some pretty awful things. You see, Alexander, a lot of his personality would revolve around thrill and needing to, and this lust for power, I guess. It would, talking about more about his killings, I guess now, he was a thrill killer. He needed to feel powerful and do these killings to have that, he needed it to live almost. And yeah, so, and I guess a bit of a lust killer actually, but not going to talk about that now. But why does this matter? Well, because he would kind of do awful things to give him that sense of feeling alive. For example, he would, like this one video they used in court where he like held a kid by his leg upside down over like a building, like a 15-story building, I think, or like 30 meters up, I know that. And he would like freak him out by saying, I'm gonna drop you, you're gonna die, I'm gonna drop you, and the kid would be like freaked out. Of course, I cannot find the video, and I would not show it if I did, but it was used in court later. And he would watch these again, just and again to feel like, to kind of relive that sense of power. So yeah, and I guess this would be, I guess like this wasn't enough for him, which is awful because this already feels like absurdly cruel, but yeah, he would eventually commit his first murder in 1992. Alright, so his first murder was when he was about 18. In 1992, he and a friend, Mikhail Odachuk, I don't know how to actually say that last name, I'm so sorry if I mispronounce it, they had planned to kill 64 people, which is an important number to keep in mind. It will be important for later. So yeah, they plan to meet in Bitsa Park. You know, that's kind of like Alexander's hangout spot. It's like his little spot. And upon meeting Mikhail, he basically, like, Mikhail was like, you know, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I thought this was a joke, or like, and nobody really knows why he backed out. It's kind of all over the place, but Mikhail kind of did not want to do it. And so Alexander, I guess, got really pissed. And so he just strangled Mikhail, like, straight up, and just hid his body in the sewers nearby, because I guess it was near sewers or manholes and things like that nearby. And there were witnesses that saw Alexander and Mikhail together, and, you know, Alexander was detained or arrested, or no, sorry, detained, because obviously he was like the last one near Mikhail. But like, police, they didn't have anything on him. Like, they didn't have any hard evidence. There was no body. There, people only saw them together, and Alexander, of course, didn't admit to it. He was just like, oh yeah, you know, I didn't see him after I left him in the woods to go hang out by himself, I guess, and then, oh, he disappeared. And so yeah, they just let him go, and they suspected him, obviously. They knew something was up, but again, they couldn't get anything on him, so they just let him go. And it would be kind of a while until his actual killings would begin. Okay, actually, before I talk about his killings in general, I thought I'd talk about something a little interesting. I thought I'd mention, actually, his second killing, because honestly, there's quite a lot of different sources that say different things about it. Wikipedia obviously didn't say anything, but I guess some sources like said it was like, you know, this guy he played chess with and tricked, which I'll talk about later because it talks about more of his actual killings. But I remember, like, again, years ago when I actually did research on this, some people said it was his, like, girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, I guess, Olga, and some other sources said that this guy, he tried to ask out, like, a girl, but she already had a boyfriend, so he got so pissed that he killed the boyfriend. I don't know, but, you know, it's just interesting to talk about how, like, nobody actually knows what his second killing was. So yeah, anyways, so on to his actual killings. In 2001, he would actually begin to kill people, and I guess this was just because he really wanted to let out that anger, and he really wanted to hurt people. Obviously, you know, getting power from watching those videos wasn't enough, and his MO, which is modus operandi, is pretty simple. It's kind of the method of how he would do it, and it was very, very, very simple. He would approach mostly elderly homeless guys at Bitsa Park, offer them a drink, get them drunk, play chess, and then he'd give some kind of excuse, like say like, oh, I'm gonna go honor my dead dog. You guys want to come? You want to come with me? And they'd be like, yeah, sure, because they're drunk and they're inebriated, right? They can't think straight. And so he'd take them to this isolated area near the sewers and kill them. And now, okay, here's the thing. How he killed them is kind of up in the air. Like, multiple sources say different things. Some sources say, like, you know, he pushed them into a manhole and just let them drown, and then killed them with a hammer or like a broken vodka bottle if they came back up. Some said that he would kill them with the hammer or a vodka bottle and then dump them in the manhole. Some say he would hit them, watch them suffer, and then like push them into the sewers, let them drown. If they came back up, kill them. And yeah, you kind of get the idea though. He would use a hammer and then he would hide their bodies somehow in the sewers nearby or in the manholes. So yeah, you know, you get the general idea. He'd also sometimes apparently shove things such as broken vodka bottles into their skulls or sticks. And nobody really knows if it was before or after death, but it was something of a trophy, kind of like some people. It's a hard to explain thing, but it was kind of like like a signature, you know, as if his modus operandi was already like not a signature enough. But yeah, he would do this so much that like people wouldn't even want to go near Bitsa Park because like everyone knew about the murders that were happening there. However, some people actually survived this, and you think, okay, they survived it. They knew it was Alexander Pichushkin. He had to have gotten caught, right? Well, it's really sad because honestly, the police kind of ignored them. For example, one article I read said there was this like punk who hung out like at the metro, and he survived, and then told police like he started freaking out when he saw him at the metro, like Alexander Pichushkin. He was like, and he was freaking out, and then when he tried to yell at the police, this guy tried killing me like a few days ago, and I'm like still severely injured. The police were just like, stop freaking out, we're gonna escort you out of the metro. Another one was this girl, like, or woman who lived illegally in Moscow because I guess it was really hard to get jobs outside of Moscow or outside of like urban areas, and so she got hit and attacked, which is, by the way, she's like one of the very, very few women that he attacked, but she was attacked, hit by him, and then when she tried going to the police because she survived, the police were like, okay, you don't live here legally, so how about this? We'll let you go if if you just shut up about this whole murder. And she did, because obviously she didn't want to go out of Moscow or get in trouble. And yeah, so he was able to get away with this pretty with like luck, I guess you could say, because nobody actually was able to report him. And you know, I wasn't really able, like, these, okay, I would like to mention though that these stories aren't like confirmed. These are from like one-off articles. Like, you know, I can't say if these are like absolutely true, but I wouldn't doubt it, because apparently he was charged with 3 attempted murders, so it is highly likely that these did happen. So yeah, anyways, I guess something changed with Alexander soon enough later on, and it was near about the end of about 2005 that he would just completely change his MO, which was that I guess he would just kill people by hitting them with a hammer instead of doing anything else, I guess. I mean, the only article I could even find, or article I guess if you could even call it that, was Wikipedia that said this. But you know, it's highly likely though that, you know, because killers tend to grow an ego, that he just wanted to get more attention. And I guess he became more brutal about the whole thing, you know, with shoving things in people's head, because he just did it with every single person. He only did this 12 times with this new MO when he would kill people like that. And eventually would get caught, because what would happen is that he would go out with a coworker to, quote, mourn his dead dog, but she was kind of suspicious, so she gave her son, like, Alexander's phone number, and he knew, but he didn't really care. And then she would, you know, get killed, but she had a metro ticket on her dead body. And so the police were like, okay, so we can see exactly where she was at this time, and whoever was with her was most likely the killer. So they check the security footage, and they see this woman with Alexander Pichushkin, and they're like, okay, it's him. And then I guess like David Berkowitz, he just like kind of was like, yep, you got me, guys, congrats. And then just complied with the police. He surrendered, got arrested, and he didn't really seem to fight back against anything. Alright, so on to his interrogation trial. It's actually extremely fascinating, not like in a, like, oh, you know, I really like him. Like, it's interesting to see, you know, his mind. So starting with the questioning, we get to learn a ton about his murders and why he did it. Starting with something I mentioned way earlier, the number 64. You see, the reason 64 is an important number is because that's the amount of chess space, like spaces on a chessboard there are. Like, it's 64, 8 times 8, 64. And in his room, as you can see on this photo, he actually had a chessboard that was marked with each person he killed. Now, you'll notice in this photo, it says 61, or he killed 61, but he actually was only convicted for 49, and that's probably because they just couldn't find the other, what would it be, like 12 bodies, I think? That they couldn't confirm that he killed 12 other people. But I highly doubt that he was just lying about those. And the other thing is that also, you would expect that he would probably stop after 64, but he said in a, I believe he said in like some kind of questioning, that he would probably just keep going anyways indefinitely. And yeah, and he wanted to beat this other guy, Andrei Chikatilo. I can't really say his name. It's hard to say. I don't know how to pronounce these last names. I'm so sorry. I'll talk more about that later. Just keep that in mind. Anyways, on to, I guess, other things. He also said that, like, why he did this was because, quote, in all cases I killed for only one reason. I killed in order to live, because when you kill, you want to live. And another thing he said was, quote, for me, life without murder is like life without food for you. I felt like a father for all these people, since it was me who opened the door for them to another world. And I guess these are both like signs of the ego and thrill aspect of his murders. It's clear he did it for the power trip, and he enjoyed it a lot. He really wanted that. Like, he needed to kill to survive, and that's what I mentioned earlier. And apparently, I guess there was also some kind of sexual aspect to it. It said that apparently it was like a perpetual orgasm in one article. He said he described it like that, and it felt really good to kill people for him. And apparently he even, okay, this is also unconfirmed, he apparently ejaculated a few times after killing some people. Again, unconfirmed. You know, I don't know if that's actually true, but I wouldn't be too surprised. So yeah, anyways, as I mentioned earlier, wanted to beat the serial killer Andrei Chikatilo, who also murdered the most people in Russia at that time before him, who was convicted for 52 murders. And they're also complete different. They're like complete opposites. Andrei Chikatilo, from what I read, was like a more sex lust driven killer, and you know, obviously Alexander was more not less driven. He was more, he needed it to survive, as he said. Another interesting thing is that some people also had rumors that he was gay, but no, he wasn't. He just didn't have any interest in men or women. So yeah, I just something I thought I'd mention, because that was actually like a big thing. Anyways, for whatever reason, on trial also, I guess we're moving on to his trial, forgot to mention that. On trial, he wanted his court case to be fully public. He wanted everyone to be able to come, and so the thing is, people did not like this guy, obviously, right? People hated this dude because he's an awful person, you know, like killed a lot of people. So when you make your trial public, all those people are probably going to go in there and try and yell at you and throw stuff at you. So for his own protection, they literally had to put him in a glass cage because, yeah, people tried throwing stuff at him, which is, you know, yeah, that's crazy to me. I've never just, that's, you know, I don't know of any case where they've ever had to like keep someone in a little like box. You can even see a photo of it. I think I probably just put one up. So yeah, anyways, the other interesting thing about his trial was that he was very like compliant with the prosecution. Like he was like, he was completely like, he didn't even try to defend himself. He just went with the flow, you could say. So yeah, anyways, he was eventually convicted and given a life sentence, and 15 of those years of his life sentence were going to be spent in solitary confinement, which is hardcore. Solitary confinement is intense, but he deserves it, obviously. Now, apparently, I guess Alexander didn't like this, and he had the audacity to ask that his entire life sentence, including the 15 years in solitary confinement, be cut down to just 25 years. Which, I don't know why he tried this. Even his defense lawyer was like, dude, you're an idiot. You should not do this. You're the most prolific serial killer in Russia. Like, you're gonna get rejected. And Alexander was like, I don't care. I want to do it anyways. And, you know, obviously as his defense attorney, he still had to file it. It's his job. But, yeah, got rejected, obviously. And he's just still sitting there in jail. Although he's no longer in confinement, but he's still sitting there in jail. Anyways, yeah, that's about it for this one. Again, I'm so sorry if this was more rambly. It's been a while since I've had to record something. This is like my best take. I've done a few, and I'm absolutely trying my hardest. It's still a bit hard for me to talk. Actually, I thought I'd mention this now, you know, just do a little bit of off-topic talk. The whole reason I actually started this channel, part of it was just because, A, of course, I love to talk. I just cannot, so I'm Yapatron 9000. And B is also because I thought maybe it would help me just speak better, because sometimes I do tend to struggle with organizing my ideas, and I tend to stutter a lot, as you could probably hear. And people do point that out in the comments, specifically my Coin Locker Baby video. A lot of people pointed it out. And that is just because, yeah, I do struggle with it still. It's something I've struggled with for a while. So, you know, I'm just working on it. Hopefully this YouTube channel helps me, you know, work it out. I'm taking public speaking classes, trying to, you know, just really fix that because I hate it. I'm so self-conscious about it. And I hope you guys just enjoy this one. I might talk about, you know, loopholes and stuff like that, maybe. I don't know. I was thinking about talking about Galaxy Gas for my next one, because that's such a crazy topic. Or, like, maybe talking about, like, just something more fun. Well, maybe not Galaxy Gas, but, like, you know, like, something more stupid. Something that is a little easier to poke fun at, and sort of, I guess. Like, maybe I was thinking TikTok finance and TikTok advice in general, because that's super funny. And, yeah, just give me some, like, suggestions. I'm still kind of working on that. And, yeah, I'll see you guys next time.